You're watching Alaska's news source.
So that's about 12, so 16.
Tonight on Alaska's news source, we have team coverage. South Central works to navigate the snow while Talkeetna gets hit with winter weather advisories. And in Anchorage, a downtown business is upset, starting a petition saying snow and parking spots is keeping customers away. Plus, Anchorage's mayor defends his decision to help plow state roads instead of neighborhoods, which led to remote learning for the city's children. And finally, back in the classroom for the first day this week, we speak with the superintendent about Bronson's criticism schools were closed. Our team is here to bring you the latest information you need to know as you deal with the weather impacts. First, we start with Lauren Maxwell, who says Mayor Bronson has gotten lots of flack for his decision to pull city plows out of neighborhoods to plow those state roads. Lauren, you spoke with him today. What did he say?
Well, he said if he had to make the decision tomorrow, he would make the exact same decision. Now, the mayor says he is sympathetic to people who are still waiting for plows to hit their neighborhoods, but he's heard from plenty of them, that you can be sure. He says the streets that the state is responsible for were in such poor shape that he considered it an emergency enough to pull plows out of neighborhoods and get the job done.
These major roads were the roads that our ambulances and our fire trucks and our police cars go on. So as a matter of public safety, I made the decision to plow their streets with their permission.
Now, Mayor Bronson has also gotten some criticism that he used city resources without having a formal or a written contract with the state as to who would pay for them. He told me today that he consulted with the governor's chief of staff and also the DOT commissioner, and both of them told them that the state would pay the bill.
Lauren, what does the state have to say about such trouble keeping up?
Well, mostly they say there's just too much snow, but it's also the kind of snow that fell. The state doesn't have enough graders, which is what it needs to pick up that heavy, wet, icy snow. They told me today that they're trying to hire more contractors who do have graders, and they're also open to working together with the city again. And we'll have more on that coming up tonight at 6. Rebecca, back to you.
And on Tuesday night, Mayor Dave Bronson told us he was really disappointed in the Anchorage School District's decision to continue remote learning for the third day in a row this week. Lexi Elverton is live at Cassoon Elementary. She spoke with the superintendent today to get his response. Lex.
Rebecca, ASD Superintendent Jarrett Bryant responding to Mayor Dave Bronson's criticisms of schools not being open on Wednesday. He says it was hard enough as it was today to get kids to schools. Superintendent Bryant says the snowstorms were making it unsafe for students to head to schools for parts of the week, so ASD decided to move to online learning for continuity of instruction. He says it doesn't need to snow for there to be a crisis in the city. Although it wasn't actively snowing parts of Tuesday and Wednesday, there were significant amounts of snow on the roads. Bryant maintains kids do need to be in school, but only when it's safe to do so.
ASD opened our doors on Thursday this morning, and 7 buses needed assistance to be pulled out of roads that had a lot of snow. All buses experienced delays, and one school couldn't open at all. So if the mayor wanted school to be open on Wednesday, I'm sorry to disappoint him. We could barely open on Thursday. We're in desperate need of the state and city's leadership because there's been a strategy failure.
And the Anchorage School District will be providing excused absences for students who couldn't get to school today or tomorrow due to weather conditions or road conditions. And I'll have the full report tonight at 10. Rebecca.
We're trying to fix our little issue in our little neighborhood, so I'm trying to focus on that, but it is a citywide concern.
Now, with all this snow, streets and parking spots in downtown Anchorage have been covered in snow for days. Georgina Fernandez is live in downtown Anchorage, where a business owner has started a petition demanding a better solution.
Rebecca, that petition kicked off here yesterday at Original E. The restaurant manager tells me that they want the Muni Street Maintenance Team and the Anchorage Downtown Partnership to have better communication and work to create a solution to snow maintenance. The Anchorage Downtown Partnership tells me it moved the snow off the sidewalks and into the streets, but originality tells me that's causing downtown parking spots to be covered in snow and making it tough for customers to go inside local businesses. Originality says it has already seen a 50% drop in revenue linked to customers not having a place to park.
What we're hoping is that Downtown Partnership will uphold their motto of trying to make downtown clean, safe, and vital, and for businesses to thrive. And in order for businesses to thrive, we need to have parking for our customers.
All of the downtown streets have had a first pass, and the parking spots are all clear downtown now. Of course, every time that, a snow event happens, we want to learn from it. So we are, of course, going to work with our partners to find out how we can improve services the next time this happens.
The restaurant tells me it plans to share the petition with the Muni Street Maintenance team and the Anchorage Downtown Partnership during a meeting in early December. Rebecca?
And northern regions of the Mat-Su are starting to see storms roll in. A winter weather advisory that went into effect yesterday and remains in effect through tomorrow brought heavy snowfall to Talkeetna and areas further north. This morning, more snow fell in the town as people continued to dig themselves out. Talkeetna locals like Ron Hernandez were helping neighbors snow blow their property. He says he was happy to be there to help and that Talkeetna is a town based on helping one another.
I've had people that I know don't like me stop and help me fix my car at 20 below. It's what you do, it's just part of. And the world's full of a lot of negative, and we have these little ways to give back some positive, and maybe this is one way I can do it.
That is a great attitude. So the snowfall did get a little bit better this afternoon, but the advisory is in effect until tomorrow at 5 p.m. Windy and wet with more rain than snow for Anchorage today. Jackie Purcell says there is some big changes over the next 48 hours.
Yes, those temperatures for the official high, it hit 41 degrees here in the Anchorage area. So a lot of that snow that we had, it is compacting, it is melting. Some of it is very slushy and kind of seems dirty at this point. So with it freezing up, that just probably causes some other issues trying to plow it away. We have had some gusty winds now out of the south-southwest at 15 miles per hour. Current temperature is 35 degrees, but the sun has set. So these temperatures are going to drop over the next couple of hours, probably right to the freezing mark and then continuing on down. So we'll continue to see this winter storm move through the south central region. You see the lightning strike down there on the North Gulf Coast. For the south central area, it's really that winter storm advisory. They've had 12.1 inches of new snow at Amber Lake. That's just south and west of Talkeetna, and a report of 20 on the ground. The snow will continue to fall into the valley areas through at least tomorrow. Then the cold air does move in, and that's the big change, Rebecca. We are going to see the temperatures drop some 30 degrees from our highs today to single numbers, possibly by Sunday, and overnight lows also on the very cold side for this time of year. We'll have more in the forecast coming up a little bit later.
Thanks, Jackie. Download the Alaska's Weather Source app to stay up to date with the latest forecasts and weather headlines. Power lines are down near 15th and K. A developing story, some people in Anchorage's South Addition neighborhood, they have no power. Chugach Electric says it doesn't know what caused the lines to fall, but thinks wind is likely a factor. It says crews are fixing the problem, but dealing with wind and heavy snow. 320 customers are listed as without power. A big cluster is found in the area of the down lines. And a bear attack near Cooper Landing. Alaska State Troopers confirmed someone was attacked on Hidden Creek Trail near Skilac Lake this morning before noon. The person attacked was taken to the hospital. AST did not say how badly they were injured. The agency says it will release more information as it becomes available. When we come back, a pro-ranked choice voting group is asking for two opposing groups to be fined, alleging they violated campaign ethic laws.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
The pro-ranked choice voting group, Alaskans for Better Elections, wants to see two opponents of ranked choice voting fined and brought into compliance for allegedly violating campaign ethics laws. Steve Kurtz has more from today's Public Offices Commission meeting.
Rebecca, one of the groups named in the complaint is Preserve Democracy, a group led by former U.S. Senate candidate Kelly Tshibaka. The complaint alleges Preserve Democracy failed to register as a lobbyist with the commission before campaigning in favor of a proposed ballot measure to repeal ranked choice voting in Alaska. Tshibaka and her attorney argued before the commission that Preserve Democracy is against ranked choice voting, and contrary to what the complaint says, she at no time did or Preserve Democracy advocate for the proposed ballot measure.
I don't know how the commission will rule, but I am confident that if they don't rule in our favor, I will take this to the Alaska Supreme Court because it's my job to protect free speech.
If somebody is talking or advocating for a ballot initiative, the public has a right to know who is funding that speech. And so that's where we believe Preserve Democracy crossed the line.
The other complaint argued today was against the group Alaskans for Honest Elections, the group circulating petitions to get ranked choice voting repealed in the state. The complaint says Anchorage pastor Art Mathias formed a church organization called Ranked Choice Education Association and then donated roughly $90,000 to it, according to the complaint. The church then donated the money to Alaskans for Honest Elections, in which Mathias is the director.
One is to get a tax break, which if you're a wealthy individual and you give $100,000 and you get a 30% tax break, that's significant. That's $30,000.
APOC staff recommended that the parties named in the complaints be fined, but the commission says it will not issue a ruling on possible fines for at least 10 days.
Well, we're seeing the sun. It's already set, and those temperatures now are going to start really dropping. It was at 4:19 today, and as far as tomorrow's sunrise, it'll be at 9:10 a.m., and we'll get 7 hours, 6 minutes of daylight for our Friday. It is Friday. We'll have more on the forecast next.
You're watching Alaska's Weather Source.
Well, a blustery and mild day here in the Anchorage area. Those winds gusting up to the 30-mile-per-hour range, and those temperatures all the way up to the low 40s. But the end of the day, seeing some breaks out there in the clouds out to the west. Temperatures will start to drop now that the sun has set and colder air will be moving in. Still the winds, they are so strong across the west coast and even along the northern tier of the state. Nome had a gust up to 52 miles per hour. 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts around Bethel, King Sam, and Unalakleet, up to Kotzebue as well, and strong winds continuing now out of the north across much of the Aleutians. Even South Central, and especially around the Kenai area, saw some very gusty winds with 40-mile-per-hour winds also hitting the Homer area, Anchorage, right at 33 from the airport location. But these gusty winds are all in association with the storm system that is pushing across the state. This plume of moisture, it's headed toward the Panhandle. They'll see rain heavy at times. We have a number of warnings as well as advisories. This coastal high surf advisory will likely expire here in the next hour or so. There's an ongoing winter storm warning as you work your way up toward the Brooks Range into the western interior, and that will go through at least early Friday morning. Now, into South Central, we have mentioned that there is that winter weather advisory continuing into the Susitna Valley. An ongoing situation for snow could see them at least get another 10 inches before it all is supposed to wrap up by Friday morning. And then check out Valdez into the Thompson Pass area. A winter storm watch for blizzard-like conditions as they will see some winds kicking up to 50 miles per hour. Here's a look at those high temperatures. Teens out of the northwest corner to Fairbanks is 20 degrees today. 50 showing up for Ketchikan and 40s for the rest of the Panhandle. So this mild weather will go away as the cold air starts to surge to the south into the interior. South Central will be seeing this, but along with that, some clearer conditions. So sunshine, even though the days are getting shorter, we will have that sunshine coming through for the weekend. Southeast Alaska, another day of some rain, heavy at times, especially toward the southern end of the Panhandle. Moving into interior Alaska, it's a chance of some snow, colder temperatures as well, with highs likely to hit the teens. You'll see some teens over the northern coastal areas, but freezing fog and down to about 2 below for Anaktuvik Pass tonight, 2 above for tomorrow. With the passage of that storm system, there'll be some clearing into parts of the western state of Alaska, with winds tapering down to Unalakleet's northwest 10 to 20 miles per hour. they'll still be on the strong side out of the north primarily across the Aleutians, 10 to 25 miles per hour. Dillingham, you'll get some sunshine with those north winds. And we'll also see that chance of snow lingering across the Kenai Peninsula. High temperatures coming down to the 20s across the peninsula and even parts of Prince William Sound. 31, though, for Valdez and Cordova. We'll see those highs into the low 20s across the Talkeetna area, also into Wasilla and Palmer. 24 for Anchorage, an overnight low temperature that will go down to 20. So a lot of this slush is going to solidify, turn to ice. The temperatures go even colder as the weekend arrives, and as we go through the weekend, the sunshine sticks around even into early next week. The cold temperatures do as well, Rebecca. So 30 degrees colder in another, by a 2 days time span.
I will not look forward to the ice, but thank you, Jackie. And when we come back, flu season is here. We are seeing the highest flu-like activity in the U.S. Flu activity is on the rise just in time as Americans gather for the Thanksgiving holiday. But COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations are down. Weekly data from the CDC shows that seasonal influenza cases are up 3% this week across the United States. CDC is reporting flu-like activity is notably high here in Alaska, as well as in New Mexico, Florida, and Puerto Rico. Outpatient visits for flu-like illnesses across the country are lower than they were at this time last year, but higher than the previous 4 seasons. The Alaska Department of Health released the latest respiratory virus snapshot. It includes data through November 11th. And you can see on this graph, lab-confirmed COVID cases are in blue, flu is in red, and RSV is in green. For perspective, most recent weeks on the graphic had 179 COVID cases, 475 flu cases, and 22 RSV cases. Flu and COVID cases both dropped compared to the week before. It is one-stop health connections for Anchorage seniors. Today, the Anchorage Health Department and the Anchorage Senior Center hosted a Senior Center Wellness Fair. The goal of the event is to provide access to vital health services such as COVID-19, flu, and vaccinations. Service also includes help selecting insurance, choosing a provider, and setting up that first appointment. Dozens of seniors attended the health fair.
The health department does address medical concerns for everyone across the municipality, but today's focus is mainly for seniors.
And he also told us today his team is already planning mode for the upcoming health fairs. Still ahead, Jackie has a look at the chilly forecast. Mike Ross joins us with a story from 6.
Rebecca, tonight we're going to continue our team coverage of the status of snow and snow removal on the streets of Anchorage. Lauren Maxwell digs in about the ongoing cleanup by the city and the state. We'll hear directly from Mayor Dave Bronson and the State Transportation Commissioner about the decisions that were made that took snowplows out of neighborhoods and put them instead on major streets. That's coming up at 6.
All right, and you have a shocking news forecast for us. Shocking in the coldness, I tell you.
I know, it's going to be a dramatic plunge.
It really is.
And I'm not a snowplow expert, but I just wonder what the warm does, and then followed by some freezing temperatures to their snowplow operations, because that's indeed what is going to happen. There's that ongoing winter weather advisory to the north in the Susitna Valley for more snow. A winter storm watch into Thompson Pass for expected blowing snow because of winds up to 50 miles per hour. We'll see a residual chance of some snow early on Friday, but then I think we're going to be past it. We're going to be seeing clearing skies, colder air moving in. That means some sunshine as we go through the weekend, but also temperatures that will be down to some single digits, both lows as well as even some daytime highs. Sunday could be one of those chilly days. A high expected to be, they said near 10, so I put 9.
9. Just to keep it positive, you know.
I like 9.
It'll be nice to have the sun, but it
will. It's going to be cold.
It's going to be cold. All right.
Take care of pets and people.
Absolutely.